Everybody, welcome to Around the Twist, episode 238. It is March 2nd, 2016. Phoebe, do you want to come up? Come on. Come here, fat dog. Come on. People want to see you. No, she doesn't want to come up. So I have Daisy and Phoebe up here. Obviously, we're filming in the living room again. Mainly because I have two very naughty toddlers. They are earning their nickname of the Twin Destroyers. But we'll talk about that later. It's been a trying week. It's been a very trying week. So grab your coffee, hot chocolate, hot tea, beverage of choice. I've got root beer float this week from San Marco. My coffee shipment came. So, what's everybody knitting? I've got my same two things on the needles. So first is the special snowflake socks. These are 72 stitch vanilla socks. The yarn is from Gail's Art in the special snowflake colorway that she did for her sock blank club. I don't think I've showed the back of her tags in quite a while, so there you go. She does have a few sock blanks up in the shop right now. I almost bought some the other day. Phoebe, don't flop against that. That camera is perched very precariously. I can't remember what I put the tripod for the camera on last time, so I have a bowl on top of a TV stand, and it's kind of very wobbly and not on there very securely, so if it suddenly tips, well, let's just say we're not going to jostle the floor very much. I hope the dogs don't flop against it. So the sock blank looked something like this, only doubled in length when I first started. Not quite to the halfway point, just about, but not quite there. Center of this giant, like this bar of this giant snowflake is what I'm calling the halfway point, so I'm roughly halfway. Finished the first sock a couple weeks ago. Haven't had a whole lot of chance to knit on it, so there's the first sock. 72 stitch vanilla with a 1x1 rib at the top of the cuff and then a slip stitch heel flap, just because I didn't have to continue the colors the whole way down, so that just made it easier rather than doing an afterthought heel. First one's done. I'm knitting it up on a US 1, a 2.25mm needle on magic looping, and I think these are Addy lace needles, if I remember right. What did I do there? Oh, good and fluffy lord. There we go. Okay, we're untangled. So here's the second one. Like I said last week, I cut it very close on my cast on, but I didn't want to rip it out, so it's enough to weave in. That's all that matters. Now, compared to the other one that was really concentrated right at the beginning, because this one, I'm kind of at the point where it was huge white blanks, white bits of the blank on either side of that big one. I don't have a whole lot in terms of color where I'm at right now, just these little blips, and that's okay. They're still a pair. I love that they're not matching. Sorry, jeans were cutting in a little bit. There we go. You can, Gail also does the sock blanks. I choose to do this, what she calls the single sock blank, which is as you unravel, it's one strand of yarn, and your socks will be fraternal twins. They won't be identical, but she also does what she calls double sock blanks, which as the sock blank is pre-knit, it's two strands of the yarn held together. So if you prefer to do your socks two at a time, that's perfect for you, and it also means, or you can wind them separately into two separate balls, like undo the whole sock blank, and you will have matching socks, or very close to matching socks when you knit them. So I chose to get the singles because I don't do my socks two at a time. I just don't. I should. I don't. I tried once ages ago, and it was when I was really tired. I'd driven from Omaha back to Algona after working. I remember being at a high school football game and sitting in the stands and trying to figure out how to cast on socks two at a time. So it's been a few years, and it's something I should probably try again because, number one, I'm not so much of a rookie that I would think that that was the ideal location to learn a new skill. It's not. It's really, really not. But I'd also, like, that's the thing, I'd sit down somewhere quiet, have hubby take care of the twins for a little bit, and just focus on that, or wait until after they're in bed and just focus on that. And I wouldn't be doing it like at night after I get home from work, after I've been up since 4 in the morning, and yeah. So I've got maybe an inch and a half done on the stockinette part of the cuff-ish, roughly. Inch and a quarter, inch and a half, somewhere in there. This did get a little bit of work on it, obviously, because, gee, I'm not right after the ribbing. Not a whole lot of work, but enough. So that's my first thing. It feels so pathetic to show you guys how little I actually knit during the week. That's, I know, it's okay, it's fine, but it ticks me off that we're into March. We're 2 months into the year, and I'm doing the same 2 projects that I started the year with. That just frustrates me. It's frustrating to me. I don't know why. And other times of the year, stuff will fly off the needles, but right now, just... I have dreams of knitting other things right now besides these same two things. But I know if I start those, then these will languish and they'll never get done, and I'm forcing myself to keep going. So my second thing is the Weigh It number 4, which is what I'm calling my Yowza Weigh It Shawl 4 by Susan B. Anderson. It's getting bigger. It's a lot bigger. It doesn't even fit on the needle anymore. It's starting to scrunch, just slightly, but it is starting to scrunch. There's my little hangy. So I got an inch and almost 2 inches done. Based on my carefully calculated 4 garter ridges makes an inch. I did weigh my remaining skein of yarn yesterday before I knit on this for a little while. And I'm in the high 90s for grams left in the ball. And I need to be somewhere in the 70s. 70 some odd grams left. So I have about 20 grams to go, roughly. I can't remember exactly the numbers. I think I was at like 96 and I have to go to 74. Or I was at 94 and I have to go to 76. I can't remember, whatever it was. I have about 20 grams to go. So not a whole lot left, and then I will start on the edging. And yeah, so this is knit up in, I should like toss it up here so you can actually see it. Yeah, there we go. This is knit up in Miss Babs Yowza. It is the Zombie Honeymoon colorway, which, like I've said before, these babettes can be very, very different. Someone else could get one, whereas mine is mainly pink and purple. Someone else could get one that is mainly green. So it's a repeatable, non-repeating colorway, I think is how they describe the babettes on the Miss Babs website, in that all the skeins use the same colors of dye, but it might not have the same amount of dye on each skein. Like, they'll all be beautiful and saturated, but one will have more green, another one will have more purple. I talked about my my Weigh It Shawl 3, that my Berlin was very, very blue, and I loved that. But I saw someone else's Berlin that was very green, and there was not a whole lot of blue in it at all. The blue was treated more like the green had been treated in mine, where it was just like little flecks here and there. There wasn't a whole lot of it. So there's the pertinent information, Miss Babs Yowza, in the Zombie Honeymoon colorway. So I still have a ways to go on this, but this has kind of been more my knitting in the evening. I don't know why I find this more soothing to knit than the sock right now, when they're both essentially the same thing. But I think because I see progress more with this than with the sock. But meh, oh well, it's coming along. It's coming along. That, and I have to open this bag a lot because my knit kit is in it. So like during nap time, which is right now, my nap time needle worker, hashtag nap time needle worker time, over on Instagram, if you would like, if you take care of small children or just have mommy time or you time, time away, heck, it could be on your break at work, I don't care. Use the hashtag naptime needleworker. That's when I get all of my stuff done that I can't do when the twins are up. That's when I do my crocheting, that's when I do my cross stitch. And with my crocheting, I don't have it doesn't have a bag of its own yet. I don't know why I don't have it in a bag, but I don't. And my knit kit has been residing in my big Jessalou bag with my Weigh It shawl. So this bag's constantly opened during nap time, and then the kids come out and it's already open, so hey, I might as well knit a few rows on the Yowza. So I think that's why it got a little bit more work done on it lately. But kids know how to work zippers too, so it's kind of dangerous even to leave project bags out anymore. Okay. Third thing, and this is actually an FO, not quite an FO. I started and finished Snowflake number 3. I think I did these all in like a day or a day and a half. So this is from the 99 Snowflakes, which is put out by Leisure Arts. You can still get it on Amazon for like 10 bucks or something. Snowflake number 3, I finished these all. So this is a spare one done for February. I'm just going to take one out. I have all 3 done. They're finished. They're in their little label baggie. And I actually really like how these ones turned out. They came out really cute. They were kind of a pain in the butt to do. But you can see the little picots at the edge. And I think this had 3 rounds on it. And this up here is actually what they're going to look like once they're done and starched. So those actually came out pretty close to how they're going to look once they're starched and stiffened and ready to go on the tree. But, that's the right way. But, obviously I didn't weave in the second ends on those either. Then, Crazy Talk Me went into Leap Day and went, hey, I can finish a whole nother set of snowflakes on Leap Day. No. Just no. I started Snowflake number 4, which I finished 2. I think I finished 1 on Monday and then 1 again on yesterday. What was yesterday? Tuesday? It's Wednesday that I record on, right? Right. So these are kind of sad looking little things and definitely need a good starching and blocking before they will go on the tree. I don't know how these are supposed to stretch further than those, but they... Okay, so, do I use it? Okay. Sorry, I'm muttering to myself. This tatty, awful looking little thing that, it's terrible. They look awful. This is why blocking lace is so magical to me. Because, yeah, here's the second one. So I've got 2 that look like these awful wilted little flowers. That's what they're gonna look like. Seriously, that's magic to me. So obviously, whereas the third ones, the ones up here, don't really need to be blocked. They actually look pretty close, like that. Number 4 really needs to be blocked in order to resemble the picture at all. This is why I'm labeling all of them and putting them in individual baggies. Because if I pulled this out of a bag, I'd be going, flipping through this going, okay, which one is... I'd have no clue that this ratty little thing is supposed to be number 4 in here because it looks nothing like the picture. Nothing like it. It's gonna work. It'll work just fine. But I have 1 more of those to go. That one was a very easy pattern. There's only 1 round to it. So I found it fairly easy. And I think number 5, which is by the same lady, this Helen Milinkovich-Milton, she's done all of them that I've written the patterns for all of them that I've done so far. There are various ladies throughout the book that have written different patterns. Her next one's kind of the same thing, where it has those points that stretch out. So we'll see how this goes. This is why I'm labeling them all. So I'll probably finish number 4 today. I'm using knit crocheting bedspread cotton in the ecru colorway. I've got 2 balls of this. We'll see how far I get with it before I have to go buy more. I believe you can get it at Hobby Lobby, if I'm right. If not, I'm pretty sure you can get it at Joann's. The size 7 steel crochet hook I've been using, smart me, I've been telling you all it's a 1.8 millimeter. Beat me over the head with a stick, because that is completely wrong. This is actually a 1.65 millimeter needle, so everyone that uses the metric system I apologize greatly. I've been telling you completely wrong. A 7 is a 1.65 millimeter needle, and I get 10 lashes with a wet noodle for screwing that up. I'm so sorry. Everyone's probably been yelling at me watching the show going, "You idiot, it's not a 1.8, it's a 1.65. But no one bothered to correct me at all, so oh well. I'm correcting myself. Done, taken care of. So snowflake number 3, snowflakes number 3 are done. Snowflakes number 4, 2 of them are finished. I'll get the third one done this afternoon. You'll see that one next weekend, or next week. Week. God, I record on Wednesday, Karen, come on. Next, pokey things. So over here I've got the Once Upon a Time sampler, which is the only thing that I stitched on this week. I take that back. I touched the Very Merry Christmas Town enough to move it over on the arm of the couch downstairs, but I didn't actually stitch on it. But I did get a lot done on Once Upon a Time, so here we go. This is the June block, which is Princess and the Pea. It looks a little weird right now, and that's okay. I finished this whole side of the 5th mattress. I finished the princess, except for her eyes and her mouth. I know she looks a little like a zombie right now. It's coming. I usually leave the faces, like the eyes and the mouth, because that's all backstitched. It has to be backstitched, so you have to have everything done around it before you do the backstitching, so it'll stand out. So the faces of the people in the squares, and then the month. Usually leave those to last. However, this time I did the month, and there's a reason for that. There's a method to my madness. I did the flower, the vase, the table it sits on, and I finished the chandelier. So all that I have left right now is obviously the face of the princess, and then all of the little star things that are next to the moon. Those are scattered in like this blank area. I think there's one down here, there's a few more up here. And so the reason I did June in there was I need some place to anchor the thread before I start. Here, I'm going to show you the back of my work, which is, I know everyone's going to say, oh, yours is so neat. No, it's kind of a hot mess. And I'm going to demonstrate with May. So with Jack and the Beanstalk, there were all those little blue, I'm going to call them magic sparkles everywhere. And then to get like the little bits of white, what I did going from white to white, you could see where my trail is because I was too lazy to weave in the end and cut the thread. So instead, I just kind of tacked it down every so often, like drew it underneath a thread somewhere else. I'm showing you the bad side. So I kind of am going to do the same thing with the white stars, sparkles, whatever they are, for over here. So I needed to get as much stuff done so I could kind of take my white through and around so I won't have to keep tacking down and trimming ends and everything. So I should, in theory, have that all done, that square done for you by next week and be started on July, which I'll need to move from my computer downstairs onto my iPad so I can get that done. Honestly, I should just load the final file because this, the Once Upon a Time sampler was a monthly kind of mystery stitch along 2 years ago for the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And so every month they would release one block, one square. Obviously I didn't keep up with it. Bad Karen, no cookie. But I'm enjoying like stitching it in my own time. It's going to take me a little while because I still have a little over 6 months left to do, along with the bottom part of the border, because you can see where I stopped on this side and I need to keep going. Yeah, I still have a ways to go. So, there's a bunch of other cross-stitch projects I want to start as well, and I'm stopping myself. I'm stopping myself from doing that, but it's okay. So, various and sundry, let's chat. Like I said, the twins have been a little, let's just say that this last week has been a huge developmental leap for them. They're learning a lot of stuff, their vocabulary is expanding. Their terrible twos have kicked in something fierce. I mean, getting hit and kicked when I'm just trying to put pants on Tara has been nuts the last 3 days. And to coincide with all of that, we started potty training. And my hubby took the fronts off the cribs. And Tara learned how to open doors. Plus, they've been waking up super early in the morning. I mean, like super early, 4:30 in the morning. And now everything is inside their closet on high shelves because today it was just when I laid them down for nap time. I went back to get my makeup on to record, come back, go to check on them because I didn't hear anything. Yeah, the little carousel thing that we have the diapers and the powder and the wipes and everything on was down on the floor. This is the third or fourth time this has happened this week so far. All when I've been home, never when hubby's been home. It's interesting. Baby powder everywhere. Gabe looked like a little old man because I think Tara dumped the baby powder over his head. So I gave him a quick wipe down with baby wipes. Got as much of it out of his hair as I could. And oh my gosh. Is it too early to drink? No, coffee, drink. Caffeine is my drug of choice. So this has been a week so far of powder and potty training, and I don't think hubby's quite on board with the potty training. We're just trying to do Tara right now because Gabe, every time we sit him down on the little potty, he's just is inconsolable and cries. So it's like, okay, dude, you're not ready. Tara, we've had a few successes, none so far today, but a couple yesterday and a couple the day before. It just depends. So I'm kind of hanging by a thread at the moment. That's probably why my knitting has suffered a little bit. Yeah. So we're going to answer some questions because I don't think the show's very long this week. I know I've been yammering a little bit, but so from the Any Questions thread, I'm pulling from Maggie Hughes. She was the 10th person on here, the next one down. So she has several questions. The first one is, what's your favorite sock pattern you've knitted so far? Well, I've been knitting socks for, let's see, I started knitting socks after I moved to Omaha in 2004. So it's 2016 now, so I've been knitting socks 12 years. I have a lot of favorites. I've knit the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern a bunch. I think it's a good go-to sock pattern, whether you're doing self-striping, whether you're doing variegated. It's a good pattern when you don't want to just be bored senseless. I like the zigzagulars. You guys haven't seen me knit those. After we moved out here to Colorado, I actually knit 3 pairs of them and gave them all away. So I really need to knit a pair for myself, but those were what I was working on. Or no, 2 pairs? 3 pairs? 2 or 3 pairs. I need to knit a pair for myself. They're wonderful in variegated yarn. They're wonderful in self-striping. Again, another one that is fairly mindless to knit. I've knit the Monkeys by Cookie A several times. I also obviously just like plain stockinette socks, either with a heel flap or with an afterthought heel. Whatever works for you, whatever you enjoy, but those are some of my favorites. I also, when I was still doing the trying to knit my way through Sock Innovations by Cookie A, yeah, kind of let that one slide. Whoops. I really enjoyed, I think it was Devon that I did in the turquoise yarn. Those have sadly passed. There was a very moving service involving me holding them over the trash can and saying darn it as I dropped them in. But yeah, it just depends on what you like. I've seen some people zoom through intensely cabled kilt hose and other people struggle with a basic, just an ankle sock. So it's whatever you're comfortable with, but I'd say those have been my favorites so far. So Monkey, Hermione's Everyday Socks, and oh my gosh, Zigzagulars, and then I enjoyed Devon even though I've only knit it once. And then there was a pattern by Ann Hansen too that was in one of the Blue Moon Fiber Arts sock kits, and I can't remember what it's called. I can see it in my head. It's okay. That was another kind of, you had to think a little more, but not too awful. My favorite sock yarn I've knitted, I really love Blue Moon. Obviously, I think it wears wonderfully. I know people have had other experiences with it, but all of my Blue Moon socks have held up for, and granted I do have a fairly large, well-established sock drawer, so I'm not wearing the same pair of socks 3 days in a row or 3 times in a week where they wear out quicker until your sock drawer is well curated. but I've got a couple pairs from 7 or 8 years ago that are still going strong. They're starting to get a little thin in the heels, and I'm expecting them to die on me pretty soon, but I think they're doing pretty good so far. I'd say that's one of my most basic go-to because it's got brilliant colors. I really love the hand of it, and they seem to be thicker and squishier and hold up well. Least favorite sock yarn I've knitted with, I know I'm going to offend a bunch of people by saying this, but I'm going to say Vesper. Just the one pair of socks I knitted out of them, I had the color bleed horribly after I'd knit them, and it was so disappointing because I had knit them for my first spring fling that I went to when it was still over in St. Louis. And it was just so disappointing, and I just couldn't bring myself to even buy more if it was, but everyone else that I've talked to that loves knitting with Vesper loves it. Absolutely loves it. Hasn't had a problem with bleeding, nothing, and said I must have just gotten a bad batch. So it's personal preference. Do I still wear any B-Pal perfume? So B-Pal is Black Phoenix Alchemy Labs, for those of you that don't follow. Way back when I used to, when I was filling in as a co-host on Lemon Violet. I wore a lot of Black Phoenix up until I was pregnant with the twins, and then my hormones were all crazy, and with perfume oils, your hormones can affect how the perfume smells on you, and just smells in general, like strong smells were like a no-go for me. So I kind of got out of the habit of wearing them, and I'm trying to get back into the habit. I haven't been very good, but my favorite is still one from the Tiki Bar collection that B-Pal put out called Blue Fire. I have like 4 bottles of it stashed away. I'm still on my first bottle, and it's about half full. So I think I'm good for the next umpteen years if I get back into wearing it. So there's that. That's a random question. And Meggie Hughes says, I have a hard time knitting with my hand spun yarn because my first few skeins don't have much yardage. Any recommendations on what to make with them that's practical? I'm not a big toy knitter in general. Well, it depends, because like some of my first yarn was very chunky, especially when I plied it. And I ended up saving some, and I think I had like right around 100 yards. It was like 98 or 104, right in that 100-yard area. But you have to, Ravelry is a great service. I mean, if you have something, go on Ravelry and, okay, I need to do a pattern search, and then do the advanced search. I'm looking for something to be done with bulky weight, this many yards, and you can pick, like once it pulls up that, then you can define the search further by saying, I don't want toys, or pick which categories you want. Yes, I want to try a hat, I want to try mitts. If you're getting thinner yarn, even down to like a worsted weight, you can use it to stripe in a hat, or do some fingerless mitts and add stripes to that and use the hand spun as your stripes. You can use it in a lot of things with commercial yarn. It's just, I can't, without knowing what weight your yarn is, I can't make a pattern recommendation, I'm sorry. So I think that's it for today. I'm going to sit here and unwind, and I smell like baby powder like I have for the last 4 days because I've been vacuuming it out of the twins' room. So I'm going to unwind, relax with the dogs, and until next week, everybody, happy knitting.